Welcome to the Vertical Buzz, where vertical entertainment finds its voice. I'm your host, Buzz Leer. And you know, there is an entirely new type of male lead that is currently emerging in the vertical space. And I'm not talking about those that can just carry a scene. No, I'm talking about those that understand this moment that we are currently in. Now, Royce Lundquist is one of the most sought-after male leads in vertical space today. But you know what makes him interesting? It's not about what he's doing on screen, but it's what he's building off screen. So whether he's doing a vertical hit film or whether he's turning storytelling into an entirely new business, this is actor turned entrepreneur. And we're going to be breaking all of that down today. This is the Vertical Buzz, the voice of the vertical revolution. Action. All right, well, listen, I am so excited to have Royce Lundquist here with today, you guys. Let's give it an applause. We've even got Jason's dad all the way from New Zealand in our home studio audience here today. Let's hear it for Royce. And nice having you here, Ralph.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about your bio here. We're gonna get to know Royce and get our fans.
Let's do it.
People to know you a little bit, and then we'll get into it here.
Yeah.
So Royce Lundquist is an LA-based filmmaker. He's an actor, a musician, whose creative roots actually go back to his childhood spent living in cities all around the country because he's part of a Navy family, which we totally understand that. All of that shaped a natural instinct for performing and storytelling, is what that did. He's trained at the Orange County School of Arts. He studied in New York at Pace University and finally earned a BA in theater arts from Loyola Marymount University right here in LA. And as an actor, Royce has appeared in award-winning films including 34902, Love's Perfect Song, Wanted, and Queen of the Court, which is the project that introduced him to the vertical format, and he calls that home. So he's also the co-founder, and this is what we're going to get into pretty deep today. He's a co-founder of Monkey Boy Films, where he directs, he produces across film, music, commercial work, and his latest project called The Duel, which we're going to be airing for you here today, which looks really cool. It blends cinematic storytelling with high-end real estate. This is what is so fascinating about Royce. This is proving that two worlds can live together seamlessly. And under the name Royce, he is also building a parallel path in music with the same creative precision that's putting him on the map in the vertical space. So the multi-talented human being, Royce Lundquist. Great to have you, man.
It's so good to be here.
Now, how do you feel? Do you feel really elevated?
I do. I feel extremely dignified.
Yes.
Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. So let's just jump into this. I want to know, take me back. You started as a theater kid?
Yeah.
Is this where it started?
Yeah, I started as a weird theater kid. I was a homeschooled theater kid.
I was not a theater kid in high school. I was a theater kid in college, so I waited until college.
Yeah, you
I was a little late to the game.
Yeah, so my dad was in the Navy growing up, and for a big portion of my childhood, I lived in Naples, Italy, and my mom's side of the family comes from Switzerland, so we had a lot of family in Europe that we kind of traveled around and saw, and because of that, we would go to a lot of art museums, and I really was so fascinated with World War II and like the medieval night period and the Renaissance. And so getting to go to these museums and then you're walking around these old cities in Europe and seeing the buildings, and it kind of felt like the whole world was like a set for me, you know?
Yeah,
so I would walk around and I had my wooden sword, and then all of a sudden I'd be in like a little village with a castle, and in my mind, I was a knight that day, you know? And I just started to role play a lot and kind of fantasize about being these different characters from these different movies, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, things like that. And
so you had all this going around in your head.
When I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, that was
brothers and sisters, did you drag them into this fantasy world?
My older brother, for sure. There's photos, I should have provided them, but there's photos of us like running around beating each other with wooden swords and casting spells. And yeah, that was a huge aspect of it. Was because, you know, when you're in a military family and you're traveling a lot, you make friends really quickly and then you lose friends really quickly. And so your siblings are kind of the people that are with you consistently. And so my brother and I spent a lot of time kind of inventing magical worlds that we could inhabit and inventing stories for ourselves to be entertained.
Okay. Yeah. And then what are your ties? You spent a lot of time in Italy. What are your ties to Southern California?
Well, my mom grew up here. Okay. And then my dad was actually born here too. And then when we left, we lived in Temecula before we went to Italy.
I have a daughter that lives in Temecula.
I know.
That's right. We have talked
this is so
about
crazy.
That. That's so cool.
And then after we moved back from Italy, we went to Laguna for a bit and then Temecula. And then when I started in high school, I started going to a performing arts high school in Santa Ana.
Right, in Orange County, right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I was kind of splitting time between my grandparents in Laguna and then Temecula as well.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So I took a train from Temecula. I would wake up at like 5 a.m. to go to high school every day. Wow. I would take a train. It was really cool. It was kind of like going to Hogwarts in the sense.
Really?
You know? Yeah. It felt very different.
Where was a train
special.
Leaving out of Temecula?
So depending on the day, I would usually wake up around 4:50 in the morning by my sister coming in because at 12 years old, she was already a lot more responsible to me. She would be up on time and she would come in and wake me up and make sure that I would get ready. And my dad would take us to the train station in Corona.
Oh, so that's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah. So we'd drive for like 45 minutes to an hour. Then we'd take the train for like 45 minutes to an hour to Santa Ana. And then, you know, it would either be and
that was a journey you did every day?
Yeah, except that's where my grandparents being in Laguna really helped because I would spend the week with them usually. So we'd take the train up on Monday and then spend the week, maybe spend one night back in Temecula Wednesday or Thursday and then go back for the weekend.
What a fascinating way to do that. You must have loved going to school where you were going.
It made me feel so independent and so individualistic, which was really cool. And also just getting to go to school and study Shakespeare and study stage combat and study script analysis and, you know, dance, all those things it was really cool as for what I was passionate in, it was amazing. Yeah.
So you spent a lot of time in Orange County.
Yeah.
Are you a surfing guy? I've seen photos of you surfing.
Yeah, I'm a big surfer. Yeah. I started later than I wanted to. You know, I definitely got into it in my head when I was like 10 or 11.
In your head.
Yeah. And then I didn't actually start surfing consistently until I was about 15. My uncle took me, I remember he's a big surfer. He lived in Malibu for a while. Now he lives in Laguna. Mm-hmm. But he took me out after Thanksgiving and I got absolutely beat to shit and he loved every second of it. And I also loved every second of it. And, you know, I was just so determined. Growing up, I grew, like a lot of my friends were extremely athletic and my brother was really, really athletic.
Wow.
And my parents were college athletes. So sports were a big thing. And I was not like that athletic. I was just kind of, I was okay.
Get that gene, that one little gene.
I was okay, but I wasn't, you know, a star by any means on the soccer field, and I'd get bored if I was like a daisy picker, you know?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. But know a lot of those.
When I was 15 or 16, I did start to have kind of an athletic growth spurt and I kind of got more muscular and stronger and quicker. And I just was really interested at that point already of doing things that made me kind of different than the community that I was in. And there weren't a lot of surfers. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to go try that. And then I just loved it. And I was so determined. And it took me a while. It took me like a year and a half before I was good at surfing.
Yeah, but see, you may not have had the exact, you didn't say you weren't that great of an athlete, but you had that athletic mentality, which is, I'm not going to lose.
Oh yeah. I was so determined
I'm
going to
win.
I was not going to quit. I really, you know, and what's really cool about surfing is that the ocean is absolutely objective, right? There's no like bribing the ocean to make it easier for you. There's
you can't make it anything that it already is, and it's going to be.
And surfing as a community too is pretty, it's not a very welcoming sport. You really have to earn your place for good reason.
I really don't know anything about surfing. I grew up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I grew up swimming in the lakes. Water skiing. Yeah. Surfing, no.
Waves are a limited resource, right? They only come every so often,
Right.
and you rely on storms to produce them. They're unpredictable. And so when you're surfing and it's a spot that gets good, occasionally, when it gets good, the people who live there and surf there almost always, they want to have first priority. They feel like they're entitled to that wave, which in a sense they are. So when you have other people visiting from other places,
so there's
it's
like
this
a hierarchy out on the ocean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's very tribal. It's very like, if you know the right people, it's going to be easier to get waves. But regardless, there's a level of general respect that every surfer should know. There's certain rules, about who gets priority based off of who's closer to the peak when the wave begins to break.
My only reality with that, my only understanding of surfing is Point Break.
Yeah. It's not a very realistic. Well, which one? The Keanu one? Or
the
one
Keanu for sure. Yeah. And Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love that movie.
Yeah, how could you not? That's classic. Yeah. It's just so good. It's so good. Well, let's jump in and let's talk about vertical films.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about your why we're here on the Vertical Buzz, but let's talk about your first foray. We talked briefly about your first. How did you find this world of vertical film?
Yeah, Queen of the Court.
There you go. When did you shoot that?
That was in August, the end of August of 2025. So
not till last year.
Yeah, I haven't been in verticals very long.
Wow, you're almost brand new to this.
Yeah.
So your rise to this, being a leading man, has been amazing.
It's been, I've been very fortunate, and I feel very lucky, and it's just been very cool. I think I was first introduced to verticals a couple years ago by an actress named Lawson Grayson. I don't know if you've worked with her.
I have not.
Okay, she's amazing. She's a wonderful person. And a great actress. And she and I were filming a rom-com together in Temecula, of all places.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A not vertical?
No, not vertical.
You're shooting a rom-com.
Indie rom-com. It hasn't come out yet. But it was a crazy, crazy project to be cast in it and then find out where it was shooting. And it was just this really full circle moment for me, because the character is a music producer, and it's not just like, it's set in Temecula. Like, the town in the movie is Temecula.
And California.
It was so weird. Like, there's a scene where, I know I'm digressing, but there's a scene where we're shooting and my character is talking about this like community center that he grew up going to in the film. And in real life, that was the community center that I first rehearsed plays in, and like rehearsed the first ever musical theater that I experienced. So here I am as an adult playing a character, talking about how this rec center has, been so important to this character in his life. And it's the same rec center that in real life I first, got into this whole thing.
Did you film in the community theater there in Temecula?
Not in the Old Town.
In the Old Town.
Not in that one. No, in the CRC, in the rec center. Yeah. No, but we did film in Old Town.
Oh,
we filmed all around Old Town. And even just walking around there, I've performed in that theater like 10 times.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's next door to one of the cool places I like to bring my grandkids, which is that Mrs. Penny Pickle Science Funky. Yeah, it's that great funny museum. But the kids
shout
love
out
it.
Old Town Temecula.
Yeah, shout out to Old Town Temecula. Oh, that's so funny. Wow. Well, so that was your first understanding that vertical films existed.
Yeah, so
less than a year ago.
I mean, when we were filming, like every night, she'd be like, "Yeah, I have to do like 3 self-tapes," and I was like, "God damn, you're so busy. Like, what's going on?" Okay. And then I was asking her about what the projects were, and she's like, "Oh, they're like verticals, and they're these short form micro dramas, And I was like, "What the hell is that?" And then I read some of the scripts that she was reading for, and I was like, hell no. I would rather go to law school than I would be in these. To be honest, that was my reaction.
Oh, come on. They were, but anyway.
Yeah. And then a year went by and I was like, yeah, that's not for me. I'm glad that you're working and that you're doing it, but I'm not going to do those. And then the strike happened and it was, hard to get work. It was hard to break through. And, my manager at the time was kind of, hey, maybe you should take a second look at these. Maybe you should give them another shot. It's going to be good experience for you to get on set. And then actually, of all things, I made a TikTok about just kind of the state of where it's at, what it's like being an actor these days, and not having, you know, an uncle who's a producer or a studio head or whatever. And the casting for this vertical reached out to me and they were like, hey, we think you'd be great for this part. We know it's, you know, you've expressed that maybe this isn't exactly what you want to do, but if you're willing to be open to it, we think you'd be great. And that
auditioned. Was this Queen's Court?
That was Queen of the Court. And I auditioned and I got booked, and then I went on. And
so when you and I shot that Call Sign Legacy,
I'd shot one other project.
So that was only like
that was
your
my
second,
third one.
Third one.
That was my third one when you and I met.
Royce and I worked in one. It was called Call Sign Legacy.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. So that's out there. Look it up.
Yeah. He plays a CIA agent.
I play the CIA agent.
It's completely ludicrous, but it's really fun.
It's very funny. It's very funny. But Royce plays he works at the
Cole Summers.
Yeah, he works
Cole
at
Summers.
You're at the academy, the Air Force Academy.
Yeah.
You're in the Air Force.
Yeah.
But he's the janitor.
No, I'm in the Navy.
Oh, the Navy.
I'm in Top Gun.
Oh, that's right. Top Gun Navy.
Yeah.
And you are a janitor.
Yeah.
As a side job or something. I don't know what it is.
I'm a janitor who is destined to save the world.
Yes. And dun, 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 cliffhanger. Does he save the world or not? You'll have to tune in next week.
Yeah. You have to find out.
Find out Call Sign Legacy and go find out what it is, because I'm not going to give it away. Go through that paywall. Do whatever you need to
Buzz
do.
is a very dangerous man on that show. He's got a lot of power.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
And I've got a gun the whole time.
And he has a gun, yeah.
Oh.
I also have a gun at one point. A lot of people have guns. Scientists have guns. Politicians have guns.
A very typical vertical film.
Yeah. Well, can I say something about that experience?
Say something.
So I did Queen of the Court, right? Which I was so lucky to work with Mariah Moss on that. She was, she's a very established actor in the space, and she really helped kind of like give me a real look at what it's like and how, and kind of the benefit. Cause I went into it still pretty jaded, and I was like, oh, whatever, I'm going to go in and do my thing and we'll see. And she really kind of reality checked me, and she was like, no, this is a real way that like you can carve out a life for yourself and still do good work. And the vertical space is changing. I think she's the first person that told me that, in terms of like, you know, she was talking about shows that she was producing and writing with her friends and getting them picked up and finding a way to kind of carve her own path. So that really kind of got me thinking, wow, that's interesting. And then when I did Call Sign Legacy, I came in and I met Lucas, my business partner, who started Monkey Boys Films.
And we're going to be getting into Monkey Boy Films here in a little bit.
So he was the first AC on that set.
That's
I don't know if you remember.
Yes,
and
I do remember.
He and I were talking, and we were like, you know, this is great. It's great to come on set and make this, but there are certain, when you're doing a vertical, depending on which network it is, right, and who's producing it, because I've had the experience of working on a few that I know we're going to talk about that have been really creatively fulfilling. But sometimes there's certain requirements that don't feel like you can bring a lot of artistry to the job.
Look,
right?
I've done 38 verticals, and I can tell you good ones, bad ones, in between ones. But it's not unlike anything else. I've done regular film, and I've done good ones and bad ones.
Right.
And it's not any different.
No.
It all works the same way.
Yeah.
And there's good directors and there's bad directors.
Right.
And there's good crews and bad crews. And,
right.
You know, so it all depends.
It's so interesting because I think in the vertical world, we feel like we're reinventing the wheel, I think, a little bit, but it's not. It's still just filmmaking, and it's filmmaking
that is offering another channel, just another entertainment lane. There's been all these lanes of entertainment. Well, this happens to be a new lane.
Exactly.
That's what it is. And it's like, it's so fun to know that there is a new lane in it. And just think the jobs, the actors, the gaffers, the PA, just what it's creating in the entertainment world.
For sure.
And it's because, why? Because we watch everything here.
Yeah.
Everything is right here.
It's so accessible. Yeah.
We look at it every day.
Yeah.
And whether I'm scrolling to send a text or I want to watch the highlights of MLB from the day before, it's all like this. So it's a whole new channel of distribution and a whole new wave of watching TV and film and anything else. So,
I mean, look, unfortunately, like there's the 2-screen problem, right? Where people will be watching something on Netflix and then at the same time scrolling on TikTok or on Instagram. And
I do it. Who doesn't do that?
Right?
Who doesn't sit there at night? Tell me you just sit and don't do anything on your phone while you're watching.
I think if you're being realistic, right, you have to create a solution to that.
That's
right?
right. You're right.
In an ideal world, like I'm a big movie theater guy. Like I want people to go to the movies
Who
and
doesn't want
watch
to?
movies in theaters. And that's my ideal scenario. And I'd prefer to be in movies that are shown in theaters as well, right?
Right.
As an actor, as a director. However, if people are already going to be watching things on their phones, I think I would so much rather be involved in creating projects that people can watch and be entertained by on their phones that are still bringing them some humanity and bringing them some like form of entertainment that also has value. I think that that's creating a really important distinction right now, as opposed to people just kind of doom scrolling and going through and seeing, meme after meme and news after news. And, it's really cool that we have the opportunity now to have this format where it is bridging that gap a little bit,
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Just walk me through like a typical day on a vertical set for you.
Yeah. For me.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the interesting thing. I've done 6 verticals. 3 of them have been more traditional. Queen of the Court, Operation Christmas Trap. It's with Rhett Wellington and Haley Lorelei. They're amazing in it. They're super, super fun. And then Call Sign Legacy. I would say those are the kind of 3 traditional verticals I did. And then I've done 3 that are kind of more elevated, trying to be a bit more art first minded,
Which would have been To Her Beat. Playback.
And then, Playback. And then one called Country Heartthrob.
Oh.
That is...
Who did Country Heartthrob?
It's a production company called Knockout Shorts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
They're really, really cool. Matthew Coe, Chris Crema, they're doing really amazing things, and they're trying to really elevate the vertical space as well.
We're going to talk about that
a
little more as well.
Oh, yeah. But I think, sorry, I didn't answer your question.
No.
A day in the life of a vertical set. A day in the life
of Royce Lundquist on a vertical set.
Well, I like to wake up early and go on a walk to get my brain kind of activated. It sucks to get to set and feel like a little bit groggy, especially when you're flying through so quickly. You're shooting like 17 to 20 pages a day. So you got a lot of lines to memorize. So I wake up early, I go for a walk. I drive to set. When I get there, I love the social interaction. I think that kind of like gets me starting, my cylinders to fire. So I'll try and say hello to everybody that I can on the crew.
Well, and you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on 2 shoots with Royce, and you are so friendly in the morning. You say hello to everybody. He's just one of these guys that says hello graciously to everybody, from the gaffers to the PAs to your co-stars.
Well, I think it's important.
It is important.
Like you're just going to work,
and it's a reflection of how you were raised.
Oh,
is
shout out mom and dad.
Shout out to mom and dad, because I like, at least I pride myself in that when I'm with my kids and I see them in a setting where they're introducing themselves or other people. It's like, that warms my heart. They're being very kind to everybody, and it's all kindness. All right, so you get up early, you're hanging out, you're coming to set early, and
saying hi to everybody, getting some social interaction to get my like neurons firing, and then after that, in the makeup chair, I'm like overlapping with my scene partner, and then we're talking about the scene, and I think.
Do you like to run lines before you go on set?
No.
Are you pretty?
I find memorization is pretty easy for me.
That's good. You're lucky.
Think for me, the biggest thing though, especially on a vertical set, is having a strong idea about the scene.
100%.
Because so many of the scenarios are played out, right? Like it happens again and again and again. It's, it's a betrayal. It's a surprise. It's, an attraction. It's a meet cute. Like these are moments that are very, typical. You see them all the time, and they happen kind of again and again and again in verticals. And so if you have a way of making it specific, if you have a strong idea about what specifically is happening with that character, and you can get your co-star to kind of be on board, or maybe they have an idea and you jump on board with them, I think that's what creates really good chemistry in a vertical, and also what creates kind of a difference for the viewer. It breaks up the monotony. I
gotta also tell you that it's why you are a leading man, because you're coming to set with those predetermined ideas about the character. Yeah. Because I've been on a lot of sets where people don't come with You'd have too.
Yeah.
You've gone on there where literally they will show up and the camera will go on and they really have no idea what this character is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And you can tell that they've put in no time to spend on understanding what's the backstory. Where am I? Who is this guy? What's he doing? Why am I here? To understand where am I going in, on page 110 versus page 20. Yeah. Where is this character developing between here and there? Exactly. And so many people don't come prepared.
Yeah, I think, it's a matter of what you can do, what the project demands, or you can have a standard for yourself as an artist, And for me, I feel like I want to have a standard for myself no matter what project I'm involved in. I'm just the type of person that if I get cast in it, I want to bring 110%, even if the role only requires 30,
It's okay.
And I think that it also, as I've become a director now as well, I really enjoy, like, if an actor comes in and they don't have an idea, I'm kind of like, what are you doing? Like, because otherwise as an actor, you're kind of like a puppet in a sense. If you don't bring your own idea and you don't have your own sense of ownership of the character, then you're really just a puppet being told what to do and how to say it. And like, so it's like, if you want to be creative and have like something to do on the project, bring your own ideas and make them. And
even if the director changes your idea, you had an idea.
Exactly.
And that's what's going to get praised, is going, okay, that was your point of view.
Right.
I get it. That's great.
Yeah.
But let's tweak it this way. That's what our world is all about.
For sure. And if you have that initial starting point, like the refining of that, I think every director will probably, because they have their own vision, right? So if maybe you come in with the same idea and then they're just like, nice job.
Right.
Or sometimes you come in and the idea that you have is different, but it'll at least open their mind to something else. I remember when I was auditioning for Playback, my first audition, at the end of it, Scott was like, wow, Scott Brown, the director and the creator, he was like, wow, that taught me something about the character that I hadn't thought of that I really liked. And I'm going to take that with me. So like, thank you. Oh. And I was like, well, first of all, that was a really nice thing to say.
That's
and I was
a very
just
nice
like,
thing. And that was in an audition?
That was in an audition. Wow, yeah.
That's pretty good feedback.
But also I think,
and you landed the role.
I did. I ended up landing the role on that one. But it's happened, I think in general, even if I didn't land the role and he just took that idea and incorporated it into Luke and like whoever did end up getting that role, it still would have been a more fleshed out, like dimensional character than it would have been if I hadn't brought that idea, you know?
For Cole Summers, did you use a mop and a bucket in your audition?
Yeah. No, but my idea for Cole was that he was so, his relationship with his dad was his driving force, right? And I think that for me, the audition there was really about that and trying to really show how vulnerable and how like desperately he wanted to earn his father's love. And then, as we got into the actual production of it, that became more and more, that wasn't their vision. And
no, it was not.
But that was my vision for the audition. And I still, I still think that there's traces of that in the final performance.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And you know what else there are traces of?
Huh.
There's traces of stuff in the air. Don't you feel it?
Yeah.
How's your breath? Are you breathing okay?
I'm suffocating.
We're going to be talking about our sponsor. Aeiro, Aeiro.co, the best air purifier on the market.
Really?
Yeah, the AC 150.
Is it in here right now?
It is cleaning up the room. And it's right there on the screen. You see that?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
The Aeiro AC 150 cleans up a room over 300 square feet. It's got beautiful HEPA air filters. You can manage the entire process on your phone.
Wow.
It'll tell you all the crap that's in your room. It'll tell you exactly what it cleaned out.
Wow.
If you want to know. But that's our sponsor, AC 150 from Aeiro, Aeiro.co. Make sure you log on, check them out. They keep the lights on for us here. So Aeiro.
Thank you, Aeiro.
Thank you, Aeiro.co. Check them out.
Yeah.
So now, are you breathing better? Because here's what we always say. The only breathing you should be doing is you should be breathing in inspiration.
Well, the word inspiration mean like to inspire is to breathe, right?
Yes.
Spirit comes from
that's right.
Breath.
And that's what the AC 150 does.
Yeah.
It allows us to breathe in all that fresh air.
That's a bachelor's in acting for you. That's what you learned.
Exactly. Let's talk about what it takes to be a leading man in verticals today. All right. So a question is, when fans say someone is a great vertical leading man, what do you think that they're actually responding to? What are those fans responding to?
I think, a big part of it is in the past, traditionally, with verticals are a very new media, right?
Yep.
But in the last couple of years, there's been sort of an establishment of what that means. And I think that that's now changing. But leading up to what it has been, I would say it's, hunky, like really hot.
Yep.
And I think a lot of vertical actors that have been very successful actually kind of deliver like a little bit of a flat performance. And the reason for that it's actually like, I think people respond to that a bit better is because the writing is so elevated in terms of like how dramatic it is. And the situations are so dramatic. And so it kind of, when you have a really handsome guy who's, responding to it, but not necessarily like really living through it, it kind of is, it's like creates this kind of magical, like, it's like you can't stop watching, you know? And I think that's like what fans have reacted to. But I do think that there are, some great actors that are leading men in the space as well.
Without a doubt.
And I would say it's hard to make some of these scripts feel grounded. And that I think is also...
Well, that starts with the tropes too. I mean...
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like it's hard to...
Go ahead. Say it. That's what we're here for.
Mean, like,
we're on the Vertical Buzz to throw it all out
It's
there.
pretty hard to say stuff like, get away from my Luna, like with a straight face, or like, I'm the son of an alpha. Didn't you know? Like there's things like that are like...
That's normal everyday conversation.
Right. No, for sure. When you actually are a werewolf like me,
exactly.
It's things that you deal with. But in general, I think the guys that can pull that off that, are really like Noah and Eric and like
Cayman Cardiff with
Felix,
the growl.
Yeah.
It's like,
Cayman. Yeah. I mean, those guys, they're as successful as they are for a reason. And I think a big part of that is being able to take these high intensity, kind of like dramatic things and then make them feel grounded and put real emotion behind it. And I think that's what the fans are responding to.
Okay. Well, here's a question then.
Yeah.
Do you think that vertical rewards a different kind of masculinity than traditional TV or film?
Yes, but I would say that's not a good thing.
That's where my answer is on that question.
I think
because that's why it came to me. It's like, this is not a good thing.
I think a huge issue in verticals currently is, they started off being smut. Like they started off being fantasization. Well,
a lot of people thought that this was porn.
Yeah.
They thought that, to
be honest, that's what I thought.
About.
When I first heard about verticals, I was like, that's literally soft porn. And I'm like, I'm too good for that.
And
honestly,
I don't want to be part of that.
Was what I thought.
Right.
And then, when I had the opportunity to work on Queen of the Court, and then moving forward, I saw that there was a lot of potential and that actually people that are in the space and working in verticals already were like not okay with that. And they wanted to change that perception wholeheartedly because, there's a lot of conversation now about making things that we're proud of, right? And wanting to make things that people can be entertained by and love, but also that we as performers and as people feel dignified by being in, And I think the stereotype of the male performer in verticals is a lot of objectification. It's a lot about like how hot they are. And
well, listen, we had Tina on from Aero's Talent.
Yeah.
And we talked about that fact. It's like, what do they look at? And we're about to have a casting director on. So I'm really anxious to get into that.
That'll be cool.
But it's like, and even when I've been to some recent vertical seminars and I'm listening to some of these other casting directors and the questions come from the fans, what is your first priority when you're casting a male lead?
Yeah.
And it's all 50 to 60% of it is looks.
Yeah.
And I know that seems very vain, but that's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's important, right? Like people want to look at beautiful people. That's certainly a factor. And that's in traditional legacy media as well, in film and TV, right?
Yeah.
But I think like that's not anything new. Hollywood's been built around attractive people for a long time. But I do think the difference is that verticals specifically have also built this very toxic masculinity. They've built like people, for example, that are supposed to be heroes, protagonists of the story, like bitch slapping women when they're like mad at them, who are like the villains, and that's like justified. It's like, no, that's not justified.
Not justified.
That's not something a good guy does, you know? No. Like, and they do that for clickbait, and they do that for, you know, things to get more people, for the shock factor. But I think that, you know, shock value is a cheap form of retention. It's a cheap form of bringing people in. It's low hanging fruit. And
I do think, you're right. And I do think that it's starting to become less and less.
Well, yeah, it's not, you have to push the boundary, right?
Because still the cliffhanger on that paywall is what is paying the bills for these guys.
Right.
And that's what vertical filmmaking is right now. Right now, it's it's still that 1-2 minute, click this, click that. Oh, get to the end of that quick scene, and the knife is in the air and it's ready to stick the dagger in, and it's like, cut, next episode.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so here's the question that I think is really important to answer is, what can you use to motivate somebody to get to the next paywall beyond like sexual aggression, beyond, you know, extremely violent acts, beyond, like, there are ways. And I think that this is something that Scott and Stacy did really well in Playback, for example, where if you put the characters in very high stakes circumstances, you can create really tense cliffhangers that people will want to click through and keep watching without feeling the need to like pull in this kind of extra stuff and go for that shock value factor, you know?
I agree. And you know what? We're going to step into that right now.
Okay.
Let's start talking a little bit about some of the people, some of the apps, some of the companies, and the companies that are doing things a little bit differently and are not allowing people to bitch slap a pregnant woman or, you know, do any of those kinds of funny things. They're trying to elevate the space of vertical film, and it's coming in more and more and more. So I want to talk about, we're going to talk about a project that is very near and dear to my heart and your heart, which was one that we recently did together. If you haven't figured that out, Royce and I worked a couple times together, so it's been really fun. But this particular project is by a group called Shara TV. So what we do know about Shara TV is they launched last month, so they've only really been out like a month, and they're flying. But their philosophy and their mission was very different than what Real Short, Drama Box, Drama Wave, the platforms that have been out there for a while. And that's why we're seeing more and more platforms show up. Ties it right back to what you were just saying about what other things can make you go to that next episode.
Yeah.
And that's what they're all trying to achieve.
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody wants to make, right now, I think the goal is, as artists, right? You want to make something that's very entertaining.
Yes.
You want to make something that's very good, that people like, they respond to.
You want to make it cinematic as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I think I really applaud Shara for taking that first step and doing that, and, you know, creating their own app, not just going to another.
Right. Not trying to sell their film to somebody else that then is going to do whatever with it. Yeah. So they said, no, we're going to shoot these films. We're going to put them on our own app, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah. So we're going to watch a clip right now. Okay. We're going to watch a clip of To Her Beat. Sounds which good. I got to tell you, this was such a fun film to do. First of all, Royce plays a ballet dancer.
River. Well, he's not a dancer, actually. He becomes a dancer in it. Yeah.
Well, then you give us the lead in to what we're going to watch.
Okay. To Her Beat is about a girl named Aria, who's played by Madeline Massengill, who's phenomenal. And she wants to go and study at this academy, which Buzz is the headmaster
I'm the headmaster of this academy.
And it's a very traditional ballet school. And she gets accepted into this B track, this experimental program that they're starting, where it's not quite ballet, but it's about kind of pushing the boundaries of dance. And that in that program, she meets River, who is my character, who is kind of a rich kid who accidentally got into the school, basically. And they, throughout this program, they kind of push each other and discover new things about why they want to dance and what that means to them, and kind of just pushes them along as people too, and kind of shows them who they are and what they want out of life. It's a beautiful story.
Right. Yeah. Let's watch the trailer.
Let's watch it.
To Her Beat from Shara TV.
I see you every day.
I miss you when you're right next to me. What's wrong with being right here?
Nothing. It's perfect.
Woo!
Yeah.
Well, come on, guys. That is just, I just know that from being on set of To Her Beat, just watching the different way that they shot that, just the different camera angles that they were taking
for sure
to shoot, because people always have been saying, oh, you can't do a dance video. You can't do dance in vertical. The screen is too narrow. And how are you going to get that scope of something large? Well, I got to tell you, To Her Beat, they pulled it off.
Yeah, that was my first time having Steadicam on a vertical set.
Right.
Shout out Lyle. Lyle was incredible.
Yeah.
He did such a good job.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think the DP Armand, they really did a great job of lighting it and making it look,
they did,
moody and kind of a bit more cinematic and a bit more dark. And I think that the vibe on set, like the cast, were so kind and so cool and so easy to work with. It was a
very, very fun set to be on.
Yeah.
And the Crafty was pretty good.
And the Crafty was great.
Food was a big deal, but food was good.
Yeah. Food was good. Which is, if you've worked on set, know it's rare and it's awesome. Yeah.
These guys were really good. There was Mediterranean one. There was just all different kinds of food. So it wasn't.
And great snacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
I think I gained weight actually on that set.
Even with all the dancing?
With all the dancing.
Oh my God.
Because there was like a lot of dancing and a lot of eating,
Well, there you go. That is just one of the projects that you have done that has just been so spectacular. And big shout out to Shara TV for that effort for both you and I, even though my role was pretty small, but it's a fun role. And it was fun to work alongside Royce.
Maybe small in screen time, but pretty big impact on the story.
It is big impact on the story. Because I'm the one that made all that happen. I'm the headmaster.
Can I just say
Say it.
There's a moment in the story where my character's auditioning in front of Buzz's character.
Yeah.
And I tried my hardest to get him to break during that scene because my character really doesn't know much about dancing. So I was really given a free pass to just do whatever.
Well, plus they've got the shot on me and you're on the reverse shot.
Yeah,
so you're not even
on camera.
He's not even on camera. So he's out there doing all this weird shit.
Unspeakable things with my body to get Buzz to break, but he didn't break. He was locked in the whole time.
I was.
It's so funny.
All right. So we talk about Shara. Let's talk about, I want to get into your new cool stuff because we've established the fact that Royce is an amazing actor. In a very short period of time, he has risen to huge stardom in the vertical space.
Thanks.
And what really got me really convinced that this guy Royce Lundquist is a special man is just that he's taken, and I said it in the open, he's now taken kind of not a left turn, but he's added a dimension to who he is in the vertical space. And he's gotten creative and he's created a company. He's created a couple of companies. So Playback, I want you to go ahead and explain it. Just tell us what it is.
I got an audition in September, right after I had wrapped Queen of the Court. And it was, So
this is your second vertical.
It ended up being my fourth that I shot because I shot the Knockout Shorts production in between. So I went Queen of the Court, Country Heartthrob, Call Sign Legacy.
Got it.
Actually, Operation Christmas Trap.
Another beauty.
Yeah. Then I did Playback and then To Her Beat after that.
Okay.
So Playback and To Her Beat were back to back.
Back to back. Cool.
Yeah. That was really cool.
So tell us about Playback.
Playback Playback follows Maddie Bryce, played by Amber Laird. She's a singer-songwriter who is experimenting with AI, and she has stage fright, so she uses an AI avatar to release her music, and she's starting to become very successful. And she's a big fan of my character, Luke Rivers, who is a musician who's kind of like if Harry Styles left One Direction and then like his star kind of started falling. He's like he had a really big upswing at the beginning, and then now he's trying to find himself, and he had a bad breakup with a pop star who's played by Hannah Stocking, who's so funny in the show. And basically it's about her and Luke kind of falling in love and learning to work together and what that means for both of them and the music that they want to create. So it's a very dramatic, very high stakes story.
Okay.
But it was really, really cool. We shot it in Mexico City.
How long were you there?
I was there for 10 days.
Nice.
And I started auditioning in September, And I didn't find out that I got cast until November. And we can actually start talking about Monkey Boys in this too, because it all kind of ties in.
And then we'll segue right into that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So when we were doing Call Sign Legacy, Lucas and I met on that set.
Correct.
And we had decided that
Lucas is one of the best ADs going, guys.
Yeah. So, well, he's a DP. That's what he's
a real DP, but as an AD, he was doing. Well, not only that, I mean, he's great. Anyway.
Yeah, he was funny. He would write us like messages on the back of the slate when we'd go do the slate.
Nice.
It was so funny.
That's funny.
But anyways, we became like really, really good friends, and we just had this similar idea for storytelling. And you know, for us at Monkey Boys, like we really want to tell stories that in some way are reflecting what's going on in the world a little bit more. We just want to be entertaining, but also have a bit more of a stance on
So
things.
Monkey Boys was an offshoot during this time of Playback.
Yeah, so we created it. We created it right after. So that was in October. We created it, and we were like, well, let's make a short film before, because Lucas is Spanish. He's a citizen of Spain. Right. So he had to go back to Spain in December.
Okay.
And so we had like a month, and we were like, let's write and produce and shoot a short film before you leave. And so we started working on that. We got all the things together. And then with the dates that we were going to shoot it were the dates that Playback was happening, but I didn't know that I got Playback yet. So then a week before we were going to shoot, I get the call that I got the job, and we had to push our shoot back a week so that I could go and shoot Playback in Mexico City. And then I came back, got off the plane, and then went straight into production for When I Grow Up, the short film that Lucas and I made.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about Playback, because I think we also have a clip of Playback.
Yeah,
so
Playback was a really cool experience because Scott and Stacy had this vision. I mean, it's a musical. It's the first musical vertical.
Right. Who was the production company?
Second Rodeo Pro.
Second Rodeo Pro.
And they worked
shout out
with
to Second Rodeo Pro.
Yeah, shout out to them, Scott and Stacy. And I can just say firsthand, I have never met a group of more hardworking and ambitious people. That's for great. The budget that they had to create the show, and for they really poured their blood, sweat, and tears into this. Afterwards, we wrapped in November, and then every time I've gone to their office until it released like a month ago, they were working nonstop on making it better with the editing and the color grading and the score and all of it. I mean, they were really, really locked in, and that was super admirable. And I knew that from the beginning, just the way, after the first couple verticals, you kind of get a sense of, there's a bit of a copy and paste format to it.
There's a lot of copy and
paste. And it can become a little bit
it's
like
getting
redundant.
less because there's more people entering this space.
Right.
But yeah.
But at the time, I really didn't I know that verticals were a certain way for a couple years, but I feel really lucky in the sense that like basically since I entered the space, I've entered in the time of like, transition.
Here's what happens. From 23 to 24 to 25, it was going like this. And in 25 to where we are now is just skyrocketing. Yeah. So you got in at exactly the skyrocket moment.
Yeah, I feel very lucky for that.
That's really cool.
But yeah, we went and shot, and I just knew that it was going to be something a bit more, just a higher level of artistry, a higher level of intentionality for the story and what it meant. And Scott, had a binder the night before we started shooting, and it was the script, but you couldn't even see the lines because of how many notes he'd made on the script. Like he had thought of everything. And then even then, he told Amber and I, like, say as much or as little of the script as you want.
I love that. That's my favorite.
Just come in with an idea.
Just come in with an idea, right?
Who these characters are.
And then stick true to the character, and we're fine.
Exactly. And he really gave us a lot of a leeway to build that chemistry and to, he trusted us as his leads, which I felt was really, really refreshing.
That's great.
And I think it shows.
And where can people find that now?
That's on My Drama.
It's on My Drama.
Yeah.
You getting that? That's an app called My Drama. You can download the app and find Playback.
Yeah.
Should we watch the trailer?
Yeah, let's watch it.
Let's look at the trailer, Playback.
It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair, but her friend is nowhere to be seen. Now she walks through her sunken dream to the seat with the clearest view, and she's hooked to the silver screen. The film is a sad thing for she's lived it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools if they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the lawman beating up the wrong guy. Wonder if you'll ever know who's in the best-selling show. Is their life on Mars?
There it is.
Whoa.
A musical fever dream, Buzz.
I mean, cut. Wow. And I've got to do a show after that one. I can't wait to see that.
Thanks.
I've
It's
seen
out.
the trailer briefly, but
It's out. Go watch it.
definitely. Then I have to go through a paywall.
I'll get you around.
We'll get a
the
link.
paywall.
All right.
Yeah.
I know somebody that knows somebody. So
Yeah,
I might get a link
exactly.
here. Well, congratulations on that. That
Thank
is
you.
that's really a good film.
Yeah.
That's
I'm very proud of it. I think it's
you should be.
for what it is and for what it's doing in the
How long has
space.
that been out? About a month?
A month.
About a
Yeah,
month.
about
Do you have
a
any
month.
idea on views at this point?
I haven't checked,
Okay.
to be honest.
All right. It'll be fun. Be fun to find out.
I've heard people responding to it. You know, I've gotten a couple nice DMs from people being
Okay.
like, "Oh, I loved the show.
Great.
I loved, the chemistry between you guys was amazing, and the music was so cool, and
That's great.
stuff like that." So it was cool. We had some nice words said
Well,
about us.
I feel
in the
very
press.
badly that I got invited to the premiere and I did not make it. I had an engagement that evening, so I feel bad.
You got engaged that evening?
Yeah, I know. I had an engagement,
Oh, okay.
another engagement.
That's okay.
I didn't get.
I missed you.
I missed being there.
I personally missed you.
Wish I would have been there. I texted you though. I told
Yes,
you
you
that I
did.
could not
No,
get there.
you were so
I did.
kind.
I
Yeah.
at least brought that up.
Yeah.
All right, let's segue into. Let's get into Monkey Boys.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're
Yeah.
going to talk about Monkey Boys.
Hell yeah.
But before we talk about Monkey Boys,
Okay.
we're going to talk about the Aeiro AC150.
I love it.
How about that? Aeiro, AEIRO.co, our wonderful sponsor, is the best air purifier on the market, the AC150. Clean up to a room of 300 square feet, all with HEPA air filters. It does everything. Just look at that. Isn't that like the most beautiful thing?
It really
It's a
is.
great air purifier. AC150 from Aeiro, AEIRO.co.
I have allergies like a lot of the time.
This'll
So a
take
good
care of
air
it.
purifier.
Yep. And when you see what it's taking out of your air, you can manage it all right here on your phone.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Aeiro.
Thank you, Aeiro.
All
Thank
right,
you.
now let's get into Monkey Boy.
All right.
Let's get into Monkey Boy film. I want you to start at the top.
Yeah.
You kind of already did because
I
you met Luca and you guys put this
Yes.
together, and take it from there.
Okay.
Because
so,
I am so fascinated in what he's doing.
So here's the thing. In this day and age, I think it's really hard to be like, I'm going to be an actor and I'm going to be successful. My only income is going to be from acting and I'm just going to make it work. It's possible. It happens. And I'm still hoping that that's going to be it for me. But I've been, I had, a while ago, I had a friend tell me, like, do not be afraid to carve a path that is different than anything. Like, no one's going to tell you what to do or how to do it. The industry is going to change and you have to figure out what you want to do and make a way to make it work and like, just do it, and the way you learn is from doing it. And so when I met Lucas, we had basically these really complementary strengths where I was like, I'm really interested in directing and getting into storytelling, but I only have an acting perspective and I don't really have the camera and I don't have the crew. And Lucas came into it where he's like, I really want to be a director and I have the camera perspective and I have the crew perspective, but I don't have any acting background or experience.
Right.
So we just kind of thought, well, let's just see what happens if we sit down and try and write a script together. And a lot of the times, I'm sure you've experienced when you do that, it can be a nice meeting, but nothing really comes from it, you know, or you start, but he and I just sat down and immediately it was very electric and we just came up with this script and we were like, hell yeah, let's just keep going. And we called in every favor we could and we made this short film and we started releasing videos on social media about making a movie in 2 weeks and how, you know, the amount of work and kind of how we wanted it to be encouraging for other people that were, you know, maybe thinking about making something and just what they needed to actually make a quality project, you know?
Yep.
And we got reached out to by a real estate agent named Chris Sofer. And he said,
This is at the Ivy Group?
Yeah, this is the Ivy Group.
Okay.
So they DM'd me on Instagram, just cold DM.
This is how they contacted you.
This is how we got contacted. This is how
That's
this
one of
whole
those where
thing
you look at it,
started.
you go, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? It's
right?
One, yeah, you go, oh,
and you know,
sure.
Lucas and I, when we got that DM, we were like, what the hell does this real estate guy want? You know, because we're very artists and we weren't interested in making an ad, right? We were like,
right.
And so if he was going to hit us up to just come in and make a video of the house, we were like, this sounds super boring, but maybe we can just collect a check and, you know, pay our rent. And then we got on the phone with Chris and he was so cool and he was so interesting and he kind of blew our minds. And he was like, look, I think that the commercial listing video for real estate has been done. It's formulaic, it's tired. And in this new age of social media where everybody is sort of going more cinematic in their storytelling, right? If you open Instagram and you scroll, probably at least 40% of the ads that you'll see from a brand look and feel more like cinematic than commercial these days, right? That's kind of the storytelling language that we're using.
That's right.
And he was like, what if he proposed this idea of instead of making traditional listing videos, writing and creating short films in the houses, fully narrative projects with characters, and that would be replacing the listing video. And he believed that if people can watch a story and be entertained and also see sort of an imagined life of what kind of people would live in this house, we could attract the right kind of buyer and connect them to the seller a lot easier. And so that's sort of the idea of where our business with Ivy Group began.
And what was your response after that conversation? What did you guys, I mean, give me where your headspace was at that moment.
We got off the phone and Lucas and I were like, what? And we like kind of, you know, bit a big high five and jumped up and down and screamed like little girls. It was awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because, you know, it's kind of like,
well, it's not, I can tell you, it's not unlike what happened to me.
Yeah.
Then the next thing you know, and it probably was a little while later, I get a text from Royce saying, I'm doing this. And he explains this real estate thing. And, I want you to be in this film.
Well, let me explain that because
it's like, what?
Because the idea developed and that's what created the opportunity for you to come and work, because the original idea was just to do the listing films, which we'll show one of them, right?
Right.
But they needed to have a listing in order for us to do that. And it, you know, it doesn't always happen where it just comes up right away.
Right.
So in the meantime, we were talking and I was like, well, you know, there was some other social media brands that they were inspired by. And I was like, what if, you know, I've just kind of been on this trend of making vertical stuff. I was like, what if we made a vertical series, but we put you two in it and we created these scenarios and kind of made a sitcom where you guys you're actually real estate agents, but we put you in these fictional scenarios, a little bit like Entourage or like The Studio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that way we can start to kind of build a social media presence for you, build a following, and people kind of get this idea that you're trying to do something different in the real estate space.
Mm-hmm.
And then we couple that with the listing videos, and they're very different in tone. They're very different in style and in pacing.
Mm-hmm.
But that way, you know, people are really getting this full idea of like, oh, they're really trying to do something different and new in the space. And I'm just in general a big fan of doing things that are new and different and taking risks.
Well, that's why you're in this space. That's why you're this entrepreneur and actor. That's what that's all about.
Yeah.
Is that you're not sitting still.
Yeah.
You keep moving. So the one we're going to see a couple of these right now.
Yeah.
All right. So are we ready to tee up? What do we want to tee up?
Let's show yours first.
I got this. So I get this text from Royce. He goes, "Hey, I want you to play this guy that owns this house that got divorced, and you got to move out, and your wife and daughter moved out." And I go, "Well, what is this? What's the story?" And he's like, "Well, the story is you're this divorced dad and blah blah blah, and it's a real estate." And then he goes, "It's a real estate video." I go, "A real estate video?" So it was so intriguing to me that it was like, hell yes, I'm going to do it. First of all, because it's Royce and he's asking me and I'm not going to turn him down. Second of all, it was like, this sounds like a completely new business that you're creating, which it is.
Yeah.
And this is what's so fascinating. So let's run this. This is unlike any real estate video with a drone overhead and showing you all the bedrooms and all that bullshit that everything does. You can pull up Zillow and see all this shit. Well, this is not Zillow. This is Monkey Boy Films doing the Ivy Group to the best. Let's watch.
The commercial listing video is dead.
I mean, come on, guys. I've got a reputation. Of course I want to sell the house.
We sold our last 4 houses making films just like this.
So yeah, the series is called Open House.
Oh, that's the name of the series.
Yeah.
There's my big face.
You were
saying,
such a good sport. We had you doing some crazy stuff.
No. Listen, in all seriousness, this is such a cool opportunity.
Thank you.
I mean, to be creating something new in a space that is basically blah.
Yeah.
I mean, the real estate, that house, what, $5 million, $7 million, some big number.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why would I just want to take pictures of the bathroom and the bedroom and just like they do in a $2,000 a month apartment in Glendale? It's like, why would I do that?
Right. It's just something new and something different. And I think in this space, people, the thing is about what I've learned from verticals in general and just the boom of social media is when you're looking at your phone, that really is the marketplace. That is everything. So when you're scrolling on your phone, the reason that I think a lot of brands have turned to cinematic storytelling in general across any industry is because that is the way that you can both connect to like the visual stimulation, but also the emotional core, right? You get people's like emotionally investing into the product and into what you're doing. And in real estate, I mean, like the 2 most important decisions you make in life, right, are like who you marry and then when you buy your first house.
Right.
So it's pretty massive decisions. And
it's
sort of like, why wouldn't you want to go there and help create a story that people can get behind and connect to when they're looking at their property? And I just have to credit Chris and Trent because it was really their idea. And then, they trusted Lucas and I to make this series.
You visually brought it to the forefront.
And to make these, and with the Duel, that was, we shot the 4 episodes of Open House. And then Lucas had to go back to Spain. And right before he went back to Spain, they were like, we got a listing and it's a huge listing and we have to just hit it. And we have to get it going. And that's what the Duel became. Yeah. And so
let's watch the Duel. Let's watch the listing.
From the moment that we were told that we could do it to posting it on Instagram, fully done, was less than a month.
That is a vertical all the way.
It is the most vertical you can get.
Vertical is all about speed.
It's not a true vertical. It's a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is more of a square, but
it's okay. It's all right.
We're still there.
You're still there. All right, let's watch the Duel. Let's watch it. This is a real home listing in Los Angeles, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. In Brentwood.
This is beautiful.
Thanks. That's my dog, by the way.
Oh.
So that's the trailer, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, you can watch the full thing, though, at the Ivy Group Instagram.
Wow.
I don't know if we can do thumbnails. The Ivy Group.
Ivy Group. Well, first of all, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Who came up with fencing?
That
That's such an eloquent, beautiful sport.
Yeah.
It's more of a, it's like polo.
Yeah.
It's of that level.
It's funny that you say that. So they made one film before in a house. So this wasn't actually the first one they did. They partnered with a different production company before they met us, and they made one that was called The Invention of Polo. So that one, Lucas and I already kind of knew that was like you said, there's sort of a old money luxury feeling about it.
Yep.
And we knew that we wanted to make something. So the big thing, every film is going to be different for every house, right?
Sure.
And the big thing about this house was that when we first went in there, it felt very fragile and felt very cold. And it was like incredibly beautiful, so impressive, but also didn't feel cozy, didn't feel like a home that people would want to live in as a family. So that was a big part of what we were trying to do with the film. And with the restaging, they had a new designer come in, Francesca, who's phenomenal. I mean, as you can see, that the furniture is like unbelievably like beautiful, and she did such a great job. But they really wanted the house to feel comfortable and to show that it was somewhere that a family could live. So the first priority was making it, with a kid and a dog, because you get those two things, and then all of a sudden the house feels a lot more, lived in.
Sure.
And then secondly, when fencing came up, because we were thinking of different sports that they could do. And originally we wanted to do like a lightsaber fight on the roof, and just for visuals sake of like how beautiful it would be. And then, we didn't want to get into the Star Wars IP and blah, blah, blah. And then we were thinking about sports because maybe an athlete would buy this house, right? And so then we were thinking about tennis, but then there's challengers, and there's been a lot of tennis. I mean, Queen of the Court was a tennis vertical already. So there's been kind of a lot of content around tennis, and we just really liked the idea of fencing, and we started doing more research.
Beautiful.
And it looks
How
amazing
did you
on
find
camera.
Who's the actor? I don't know.
So the lead actor is named Maz Ali, and he and I actually met in acting class like 3 years ago, and we just have been friends ever since. I'm just a huge fan of his work. I think he's a really, really talented actor.
He's currently an actor?
Yeah. He acts all the time. He's working. And he and I are just friends. And I reached out to him to read for the part. And I thought he just, Julian, when you watch the full film, which is also something that's really cool about this, is we cut a 3-minute version that's live now on socials. You can go watch it at any time. But
that's
we
the
also
one with you in it.
Yeah, I play the referee.
Yeah.
But we also are cutting an 8-minute version of it.
Wow.
Because that's how long the script was. But for the turnaround time, we couldn't cut an 8-minute film in 3 days. It was just like really, and get the sound design and the color and the music.
Right.
So we condensed it and made it 3 minutes. Also for social media, anything under 3 minutes is better anyways, as far as the algorithm goes. But we're going to cut an 8-minute version of it that will go to festivals, and we'll do the whole thing, which is really exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah. But Maz, I just had him read, and I think that character Julian he's a dad that's trying to connect with his son.
Obviously.
And his son is, really interested in fencing and swordplay and knights. And what's funny is,
where'd you get the kid?
Also just through casting. Yeah. We found him, and I was just like, wow, you're great. Grayson was such a sweet kid. He's like
great.
The best attitude, so easy to work with, and a really talented kid with great instincts. So I felt really lucky. And we cast a younger version of Julian, of Maz as well. My friend Coda plays him, and I'd met him on a previous project. So I really, that's the cool thing about going from being an actor to being a director and kind of being an entrepreneur, is that now all of a sudden I can start employing my friends, which is like the best
it's about
thing
working
ever.
with your friends.
Yeah.
That's what everybody tends to want to do.
For sure.
Work with your friends. Because why not? You trust your friends.
Yeah.
That's what because you already know them. There's a trust factor.
Yeah.
And that all goes that way. So we have seen some amazing stuff here.
Thanks,
I mean,
Buzz.
your life as far as being an actor, being an entrepreneur, are really working right now. Are you gonna is the plan to continue on both those paths?
Yeah. I mean, I found that I love directing almost as much as I love acting. I think that there's something about pulling a good performance and working with actors that I find just as like fulfilling as trying to create a good performance in myself.
Do you plan on doing some directing in Vertical?
Yeah. I'm definitely open to it. I think I would have a hard time directing something for a real short or for like a company that has very specific, formulaic.
Well,
ties.
there's enough. I'll tell you, there's enough of these new apps that are going to show up, like the Share TV apps and the MyView, and there's Versa TV, Kalos TV. There's a wave. This next wave of Vertical.
I just saw it that got announced. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, there's going to be a big rise of apps that are going to start doing this on their own.
Yeah.
And that's going to change the landscape.
For sure.
It really is. It's going to change everything.
I'm right there. I'm super down to direct. I'm super down to get involved that way.
So you're hearing that, everybody? This guy's ready to direct. He's a great actor. He's a smart guy. He's an entrepreneur. Hire this guy.
Yeah.
And then he'll hire me.
Exactly.
So it's all a process.
Get two for the price of two.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna. We've had a lot of fun here, but we're gonna even have some more fun. We're gonna do rapid fire.
Hell yeah!
This is rapid fire for the Vertical Buzz.
I'm ready.
Brought to you by Aeiro.co, Aeiro.co. Rapid fire on the Vertical Buzz. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. These are going to be. You're going to have to. It can be one word, or it can be. But I want that first thing that comes to your head.
Initial impression.
That initial impression. Give me that back. First role you ever booked. You can go all the way back. Not first role you ever booked.
Stefan Beretsky, 34902.
That was the first role.
Yeah. I was playing a real Nazi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Theater
Heavy.
or camera?
I guess theater, the first role I booked was in West Side Story.
Oh, no, that's right. That was the second question. Oh, the first thing you ever did on stage?
Yeah.
Was
professionally was West Side Story.
So you had to dance?
Yeah, I had to dance in that. Yeah. Yeah.
Where was that?
That was in Temecula, actually, at the Pachanga Casino.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. You've lived in both LA or New York?
As a city, I'm going to say New York.
I agree. I've lived in both.
Yeah.
New York is.
But as a surfer, I say LA.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Although you can surf in New York. Did you know that?
Probably indoors, probably a surf.
No. Rockaway, Long Island.
Oh, that's not New York.
Of course it is.
Rockaway?
Yeah.
That's out
it's
there.
Queens.
That's Jersey.
No, that's Queens. That's where JFK is.
Oh, yeah. Rockaway. Okay.
Yeah, you say you lived in New York.
Sorry. One role that changed everything for you.
Luke Rivers, Playback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Biggest onset lesson you learned the hard way.
You don't owe anybody anything except to be respectful and to be polite and to be kind.
Vertical or tradition, if you had to pick right now?
Traditional.
What makes a great leading man? One word.
Confidence.
Yeah, that's a great answer. An actor that you would love to work with, male or female? Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah.
That one came right out of you.
I love that guy.
All right. If you weren't acting, what would you be doing?
Directing.
Okay.
And if not that, I'd be teaching.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
There we go. One word to describe the future of vertical film or vertical entertainment.
Unpredictable.
That's a good one. I love that.
Who knows?
All right. What about a dream role you haven't played yet?
A knight in shining armor. Like an actual medieval knight fighting on the battlefield. Yeah. Okay. Like Aragorn, Lord of the Rings. Like that's my
dream. See you in more something
that's
like
Game of Thrones.
No, I want you Knight's Tale.
Yes.
Yes.
That was like one of my favorite movies growing up.
I can believe
Heath
that.
Ledger.
That is your humor. I mean,
my God.
You could have been that guy.
Yeah.
Without any doubt.
Yeah.
That is right on that's who I see you as.
Thank you, Buzz. That's such a great compliment.
It would be great.
Yeah.
One thing that fans would be surprised to learn about you.
Ooh. Well, you know me pretty well. What do you think is something?
No, don't. I don't want to answer that. I don't know. One thing that fans would be surprised to learn about you. Other than he is one of the sweetest, most sincere, humble, caring men I've ever met.
Thank you, Buzz.
That's my reaction.
Like, I've gotten this for a while that I come off a little intimidating when I first, or like that I come off very serious or kind of, and I am like probably more gentle than fans would guess based off of like how
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to shift gears here.
All right.
I'm going to add a surf moment to this. We're going to get into some surf rapid fire here.
Okay,
for a minute,
cool.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Surfer check. Are you actually good or just good at looking good carrying your board?
I'm actually good.
Because you look good carrying the board. I've seen images.
It's basically just asking if you're a kook, you know, or like a Barney.
You beat me to the question.
Oh, okay.
You beat me to that question
You're gonna
about
ask me if
kook.
I'm a kook?
Yeah, I had it on here.
For sure.
I had it right there, man. It's like, have you ever called someone a kook, or worse, have you ever been called a kook?
Both, for sure.
Explain a kook for people that don't know.
A kook is somebody who just pretends like they know a lot about surfing, but doesn't, or, you know, out in the water is being very confident without the skill to back it up, or just being kind of disrespectful, unaware of other people around them. Like, listen, when you're beginning surfing, there's so many things that you're trying to learn at the same time. There's a huge learning curve. So everyone knows when you're a beginner surfer, like anyone who's experienced can look and see like, oh yeah, they're beginning, you know, it's very easy to tell, and that's not a problem, right? Like everyone starts somewhere. It's the people that are kind of in the mid range where they're like not great at surfing, but they're a little bit better than a beginner. And then they're acting as though they're very good. That's a kook, you know?
That's a kook.
Yeah.
Okay. Surfing soundtrack. Are you going chill indie or full Point Break adrenaline mode?
I would say full Point Break adrenaline mode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. If you're not a little sunburned and slightly dehydrated, did you ever surf?
No.
I know from even friends that have surfed. They come off there going, oh, fucking dehydrated.
Oh yeah. I put sunscreen on all the time and I still am burned no matter what. Like I'm even a little sunburned right now, you know, it's kind of how it goes.
Be honest now.
Okay.
This might be one of our last questions here. How many waves do you actually catch in a session versus how many you tell people you caught? I think surfers understand that question.
It depends on, there's a lot of things it depends on, because sometimes if it's really, really good, like if the waves are really big and the conditions are great, but it's really crowded, you might just catch one or two waves, but those two waves are amazing and it makes the whole session and it's worth it, right?
Got it. You
can go out when it's not as good and kind of crowded, or like not crowded at all, but the wave quality isn't very good because the conditions aren't great. It's onshore or whatever. It's, you know, not very big. And you can catch like 1,000 waves and it kind of like isn't that exciting or fun, you know? So it depends. I would say on an average session, you know, if you catch 10 waves, it's a good.
Wow.
It's a good.
How long are you out there for to catch 10 waves?
Like an hour and a half.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, waves are short. They're not very long.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to, you know,
I lived on the beach many years over in Marina Del Rey.
You did?
Oh, I did.
Okay,
in
cool.
Playa Del Rey, I took my dogs walking on the beach every single day.
So there's
never been a surfer.
Actually, I'm not going to say that. I was about to blow up a secret spot, but I'm not going to say that.
Well, you just led me to my other question. You did. You led me to this other question, which is Malibu. Here's a question.
Okay.
Malibu, Venice, or I'm not telling you my spot.
Like in terms of which one I would pick?
Which would you pick?
For sure, the one I'm not going to tell you about.
It's like fishermen. Fishermen don't like to tell spots either, you know?
My uncle likes to always say every dog has his day, right? So every beach, you know, depending on the swell direction and where the storm is coming from, the waves are going to be produced in different areas and hit the coastline differently. So some beaches do really well under different conditions. And like Malibu is famously a summer spot, right? Like it takes a south swell really, really good.
Been a lot of songs written about Malibu surfing.
Yeah.
You think?
Venice is kind of the opposite. Venice does better in like a combo swell in the winter. Which you might, did you understand what that means?
No.
So I'll break this down very, very easily. A combo swell means, so you have different directions, right? In the summer, a lot of the times the swells come from the south. And in the winter, a lot of the time the swells come from the north because that's where the storms generate, the northwest. And when you have a combo swell, it means that you get a mixture of both that creates kind of like a different mixture of swell in the water. Yeah. But I would pick...
For all of you out there that understand surfing, you probably understood that 100%. All right.
I did not expect to be talking about surfing today. Thanks for asking me about that. That's so fun.
Isn't that fun? I mean, I knew that it was a lot of your DNA.
Yeah,
so
it's
like we had to go into the Southern California.
I start to feel really weird if I haven't surfed in a couple weeks. It's
Is that right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So you still surf pretty actively?
As much as I possibly can. Yeah. I mean, if I'm not on set, it's like 3 or 4 times a week.
So where are people going to find you out there if they want to find the famous Royce Lundquist? You're not going to tell your spot.
Just go out there and we'll see.
Have to go out there and
we'll
find out
into each other
right?
one day.
All right. All right. So, Royce, this has been over the top cool. What a fun discussion that we've had today.
Thanks,
I just
Buzz.
love hearing your journey going from actor to now another business. And you know what? You're not probably done yet. You've probably got many more businesses in you.
We're just getting started.
You're just getting started in your career. So, you know, it's just exciting to see how young entrepreneurial spirits are just building their life, because you've got so many opportunities, particularly in the entertainment space, to build whatever career you want to build. So tell us right now, tell us where people can find you. Where can they find Royce?
You can find me on Instagram.
Tell that camera right there where they're going to find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Royce_Lundquist.
Okay. You got that?
You can email me, royce.lundquist@gmail.com.
Whoa, there you go. There's a big one. You're gonna get loads of the women coming after you for that one.
I hope not.
Maybe a couple of guys. I mean, we don't know today, but it's going to be whatever it's going to be. So I want to also give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Aeiro, Aeiro.co. This is a wonderful company that keeps the lights on. Best air purifier on the market, the AC150. Make sure you check it out, Aeiro, Aeiro.co. Thank you for your support. Big shout out, Glendale Podcast Studio.
Absolutely.
Come on. These guys knock it out of the park every single week. As we're riding our wave down here into season 2. We're just really excited to be here at Glendale Podcast Studio. And Jason and Erica just did great. And how fun was it today to have Jason's dad all the way from New Zealand here? Ralph, congratulations, Ralph. Thanks for having you on the show here today.
Thanks for being here, Ralph.
Thanks for being here. Oh my gosh, all the way from New Zealand. We have international audience today. That's what's kind of cool. Yeah, we do. And of course, a big shout out to our social media director, Anna, who does an amazing job keeping the clips going and keeping the daily Vertical Buzz out there in front of people and just, shouting us out every single day. And I do want to thank all of you guys for watching and listening to the Vertical Buzz every week. We're right in the throes of our second season, and we're just having a great time. And you, the fans, have given us so much good feedback that there's so much more coming. So make sure that you're following and subscribing at The Vertical Buzz, And you can find the website is at theverticalbuzz.com. You can go there as well. But make sure that you're subscribing. That's the most important. You can find us on all platforms, from YouTube to Spotify, Podbean, wherever you find your podcasts. New episodes every Thursday. So that's the easiest way to find us. Just wake up Thursday morning, grab your coffee, check out the Vertical Buzz. So as I always also want to say here, just at the end of every podcast that we do, again, thanks for listening. But more importantly, the future of entertainment is in the palm of your hand. It's right there. This is the Vertical Buzz. We are the voice of the vertical revolution.